Some managers think motivation is a budget problem. No pay rise, no lever to pull. That assumption is worth questioning, and the answer is probably more conditional than you might expect. Yes, non-financial rewards can motivate staff, but only under one condition: pay must already feel fair. That is the foundation that everything else sits on. If someone believes they are underpaid, no amount of recognition, flexibility, or perks will compensate. They will read it as a cheap workaround, because that is exactly what it is. Get the foundation right, though, and you have a practical, low-cost toolkit for sustaining engagement between pay reviews. Non-financial rewards complement fair pay. They do not replace it, and that distinction matters more than anything else in this video. So assuming pay is in reasonable shape, what actually works? There are 4 categories with the strongest directional support. First, recognition. Timely, specific acknowledgement of good work costs nothing and signals that effort is actually noticed. Generic praise does little. The more specific it is to what the person did, the more it lands. Second, career development. Giving someone a clear path to grow, access to training, or stretch assignments signals that you are investing in their future. That tends to matter more than people expect, particularly for ambitious employees who are weighing up whether to stay. Third, autonomy. Trusting people to manage their own time and approach, rather than micromanaging outputs, is itself a form of reward. It communicates respect. Fourth, meaningful work. Where possible, letting people spend time on projects they find genuinely interesting increases intrinsic motivation. That is the kind of motivation that does not need constant topping up. But none of these are guaranteed, but they are levers most likely to make a real difference, and the ones most managers underuse. The risk, though, is applying them badly. Non-financial rewards fail in 2 predictable ways. The first is using them as a substitute for fair pay. If someone is underpaid and you respond with a team lunch or a thank you card, you haven't solved the problem. You have signaled that you know there is a problem and you are hoping a small gesture will buy you time. And that erodes trust quickly. The second failure is poor targeting. People are not all motivated by the same things. One person values public recognition, another finds it uncomfortable. One wants more responsibility, another one wants cleaner boundaries between work and home. A reward that does not match the individual is not neutral. It can feel dismissive, like you haven't even bothered to understand what actually matters to them. The solution to both failure modes is the same risk. Ask before you act. Before introducing any non-financial reward, just run 2 quick checks. First, is pay already fair? If the honest answer is no, or you're not sure, address that before anything else. No reward program will compensate for a pay gap the employee is already aware of. Second, would this specific person actually value the gesture? Not your team in general, the individual. If you do not know the answer, then just ask them. Most people will tell you what they find motivating if you give them the space to do so. If pay is fair and the reward matches the person, targeted non-financial recognition is genuinely worth trying. Career development, autonomy, and meaningful acknowledgement are the 3 levers most likely to move the needle. If pay is not fair, though, fix that first. Everything else is noise until you do. If that was of value, subscribe to the channel for one real business question answered every video. For the same clarity in writing, the website and newsletter is 5minutebusiness.com.